Hey, so if you were actually paying attention, I did miss doing a video yesterday, so I'm going to have to tag one onto the end of my 30 days. Unfortunately, since this is becoming sort of a vlog-like series, got food poisoning over the weekend, so that was not fun. I was not not functioning with a full deck of cards for about 2 days, so between just having food poisoning and the kids being home, I was like, I had nothing useful to impart to anyone at all yesterday. So I was kind of mad at myself because I was very dedicated to not missing any weekdays on recording, but you know, such is life. And that actually kind of brought me to the topic that I was going to go over today, because I am still not quite 100%, so this isn't going to be a super in-depth one, but I definitely wanted to you know, make good to myself, because pretty much what I'm doing this for is, you know, to prove to myself that I'm doing it. So here I am. And so the topic I wanted to go on today that I personally feel is important for small businesses, for starting your own small business, is start it in a way, or if you've already started, structure it in a way that's going to suit your life. And that might, I mean, obviously that's going to look different for everybody. For me, like I said, my business has changed as my kids have grown, as they have gone from preschool to one in school and one in preschool to both school-age children, which, hallelujah when that happens, to then I'm pretty much just cycling back and forth now between like the school year and summer, the school year and summer. And, you know, with that, it's not just kids, also things like getting food poisoning. If you have a business that you have structured in a way that it is making you money, even though you're not necessarily sitting there like pulling the lever, then you are well on your way to happiness and freedom and gratitude, even if you don't necessarily realize it. Systems that I currently have in place that you might want to look into are, when I started, obviously I was just me by myself knitting and crocheting things and selling them in little shops, vintage shops or whatever, in Richland, Washington, where I lived at the time, as well as just a few things on Etsy. So that was just a me, myself, buying the yarn, picking the yarn, doing basically commission type stuff, or I did like little knitted boot cuffs, different things that people liked, and then took them to places that they were for sale. So that was very much me doing absolutely everything. And then as I got online and as I got a website set up and as I got into product lines, and I'm gonna have to try really hard not to ramble on all of those topics today, because to me, I don't know, it might just be my brain, so many things are so connected to me that it's very hard to not go in 5 different directions. So that's actually a big point of this video series as well, is to train me to be able to focus on one topic at a time. So the topic being systems. When I got a website that I was able to, through the help of product lines and learning that way, really focus on a system of making a product line that was like a cycle. So it was a product line cycle of planning, creating, marketing, selling, planning, you know, then like sale, planning, it's the same cycle you'll see lots of, you know, like Target or Pottery Barn or anybody else do. Once I started doing that, that definitely helped me. I was still doing all the things, but I was able to see the part of the cycle that maybe I wasn't so good at, or that I could outsource things on, that maybe parts that I didn't personally have to do myself. So even though when I started out, I was still doing all the things, structuring my work in a product line situation, is what got me to be able to see kind of the holes that could be maybe filled by somebody else or even computer. There's so much technology stuff now, and I actually am a large proponent of letting technology help you. And I feel like it would be unfair if I did not mention Renee Christine, who I don't think is on YouTube anymore, but she was, I just would feel unright if I didn't mention her, that she was the first person who, her teachings is what I learned the product lines for handmade business. And I'll forever be grateful for that. So, you know, shout out Renee Christine. And I feel like I took what she taught and I've definitely changed it to suit I feel like business online today and then business online that works for me. So I may not still be doing exactly what she taught. She had a very methodical system, which was fantastic. But like I said, I don't think she's on YouTube anymore. So I feel like things have maybe just internet-wise have changed. So I've structured things a bit differently now. But, oh, see, there I went. I squirreled again. Anyhow, product lines. Thank you, Renee. And so then I was able to see, like, okay, instead of me, the marketing part, instead of me social media, like literally getting my phone, opening up Instagram and writing a caption and posting it every single day, that was something that if you'd watched the previous video, I can use Tailwind, or yeah, I'm still straddling the, once again, if you've seen the previous video, go back and look. Still kind of straddling the, am I using the back end of Facebook Meta versus Tailwind? I'm still kind of doing both. Now that I am not dying of food poisoning, I need to finish figuring that out. But some sort of a scheduler for that. So that was one place that I could get help with. Another place that for my fiber business, I was able to get help with that you'd heard me talk about. I, with having kids and pets and birds, did not want to be the one dyeing things in my house. Even though I enjoyed it and it was artistic and it was creative, it was not something that was, it was not sparking joy for me. And it became one of those things, and this is a good way to spot things that you should try to systemize or get somebody else to do, is when you're going along in your system and then you hit a point that like you start digging your heels in on, even if it's kind of like it doesn't make any sense and it's just in your head, but like you know you need to do it, and then you get that weird internal like ugh, and then you end up doing, you know, like sweeping your kitchen instead of like literally anything else except doing it. That's probably a good sign that you need to find either some sort of technology or a person that does light them up and they would love to be paid to do that. And then that way you can mentally take that off of your brain. So dye work was a big part with me. I still, obviously I do the spinning and I do blending. That more lights me up. But as far as the actual dye, just not having to have it in my house, you know, I'm in suburbia. It wasn't, I don't have like a great barn with a shed. It made me happy for someone else to do it. So dye work and then online automations were two big places that then freed me up to be able to plan the product lines, plan the sales, like what's the special going to be each month. So then that lets me really do a good job of hitting the parts that I need to hit, and then lets other people or computer programs do a good job of what they need to do. You know, like I said, with the Tailwind or the social media scheduling, we're like, I'm still writing it, but I'm like doing it all at one time and then setting it, and then it goes out. Like there's nothing I love more. My husband got, I don't know, one of those big trucks that I was like, why do we need a big truck? But I've totally eaten my words on this. It has Wi-Fi. So if we go on a vacation and like he's driving, or, you know, we're just going to like 6 hours to go visit the grandparents, I can sit in the front with my little iPad with the keyboard and I can schedule. This used to be a huge press for me, you know, with packing and mom stuff. I can just sit in the truck for 6 hours on the way to South Carolina and I can just write social media, you know, Instagram post, Facebook post, email post. I can write all of that and schedule it. And then the whole week that we're gone doing family stuff, I don't have to think about it. And I already did it. And it just magically goes out. So things like that you can do that, you know, like I said, I was definitely very grateful that while I was not feeling good, I kept kind of having this gnawing sense of, oh, I need to get up and I should work. I need to do something. And I did get some packages in the mail. I did like the bare minimum effort of, you know, like things that absolutely had to happen. But as far as the rest of it, I knew my website was going to keep websiting, and I knew that, you know, I'd already written good things on social media and I'd already engaged with people, and I was sad that I missed doing this on YouTube, but you know, I knew I'd done enough. So I would say gratitude and systems are a huge, important part that you need. And if you can go ahead and start, the sooner you can start implementing that into your work, no matter what scale you're at now, the happier you will be, because things like food poisoning are going to happen to you, or your kid getting sick is going to happen to you, or vacations, even happy stuff. And being able to kind of set it, forget it, and walk away from it a little bit is good. And I mean, also sometimes, if we're just going to be real, sometimes I get really mentally burned out, and you know, you can have that real, and if you're an entrepreneur, that real like burning drive of like, oh, I've got all these plans, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, it's going to be so, and that's me most of the time. I annoy even myself. But, you know, sometimes you really do just get kind of in a funk, or you're not feeling good, or somebody else isn't feeling good, or, you know, the Mercury's going backwards or whatever. I don't know. But sometimes you're just not in a great creative momentum place, and you just kind of want to chill. And, you know, that's an important thing to be able to do, because then you have to come back and, you know, you'll be refreshed when you return. So I do actually have to go start doing things now. But that would, if we're going to recap, my main advice for this video is make yourself a product line. Literally write it out, draw a circle, and do like, you know, write down your planning steps, write down your, you know, execution steps, the marketing, you know, here's the marketing part. And then, you know, everything usually ends with some sort of like a whatever hasn't sold, like do some category sales, and then like a big, like it's going away sale. So, you know, do the whole, write yourself out, like draw it out, a plan, and then start working through those steps. And it may be just you working through those steps by yourself for the first however long. And then once you start getting some momentum, which momentum to entrepreneurs is like oxygen. So once you start getting your momentum going, then you can look at what parts can I start outsourcing. And if you are watching this at some point in the future and you've gotten to a point that you want to outsource and you're not sure how, I can talk to you about that. So like if you're there now, comment below or send me an email at erin@feralscene.com. Be like, hey, I'm at this point. I would like to, you know, outsource more this. Like I hate doing this. What do you have any suggestions? And I'm a big nerd and I love this stuff. So I might have a website or an app or a suggestion that I could help you with. I'd be happy to do that. So, you know, let me know, and I hope that helps. Like I said, I gotta go. I'm finally back on the coffee, thank God. I've been coffeeless, if you want to talk about me not accomplishing anything. I've been coffeeless for like 3 days. I'm finally back on the coffee, so I gotta go do some work. Have a good one.